Fellowship Season 3 just started and it has been super fun so far. So let's dive into kind of my thoughts on the season and what I'm hoping for the future. First off, we need to talk about launch day, and we do have to address that it did not go well. Anyone that was there experienced how frustrating it was to watch the queue break, to not even be able to log into the game, and this went on for actual hours. On top of that, when you finally did log into the game and you got into a dungeon, a couple things might have happened. You either got no loot when you completed the dungeon, or when you left the dungeon, you instantly got kicked out of the game, had to re-log in, and then couldn't log in. So the launch day was a mess. It was tough. It was not fun. A lot of people took the day off of work, and that's kind of on us. I did as well. I took the day off work, and you want that smooth launch to happen, and it just didn't. Like, we just have to get that fact out of the way because that is what happened that day. I will say that the team was very composed. They did a great job at communicating, letting people know that they were looking for those issues, finding them. And we have to be real here. When it comes to video games, there's only so much you can do before the game comes out live for everyone. That's how technology works. You never know everything and how it's going to run. You can just prepare your best for it and then react as it happens. And the team did a wonderful job of that. And the communication was there. They also didn't lie to people and be like, well, it's going to be ready by this time. They were very clear that, we're looking for the issues. Once we find them, we'll fix it. We don't have an ETA. We're not going to tell you guys we have one and get your hopes up and get you more disappointed. It's been a hard day for everyone type of a thing. So kudos to them. They handled it really well. And all things considered, we still got to play on launch day. It just took a lot longer than originally would have. Let's talk now about the new hero. So with this season came a new hero, and personally, I think he is really fun. They wanted to make a hero that was a bit more simple than their other melees, and I think that's how you say it. But anyway, he is. For all intents and purposes, he's a lot of fun. I enjoy playing him. His kit is cool. Rotation is pretty simple, and he fits into the theme of the season, right? Where it's kind of like this blood-focused season with the enemies, and that's kind of what his abilities revolve around as well. And he's been a lot of fun. And as I mentioned, he's pretty simple. So if you are looking for a hero and you're getting into Fellowship for the first time, why not try their brand new hero? You're gonna get into dungeon queues. Like, it's a lot. There's a lot of good things coming from him. So jump in, have fun with him. I personally do like him. I'm probably gonna push some keys with him as well. I'll push some dungeons, raiding, whatever we want to call it. But definitely check him out. Next up are some of the new dungeons. Now, obviously, I've not played all of them yet, but I've played some of them and been through a lot of the reworks of the older dungeons, and I personally really like it. I think the art team, the design team, they did a fantastic job. They introduced us to new areas. I was thinking zones, but like new areas, new mobs, and then on top of that, as I mentioned, they actually changed the old dungeons, so we're not just experiencing the same thing over and over and over again that we have for the last couple of seasons. So really well done here on the dungeons. Super fun, super flavorful, and definitely brought a sense of freshness to the season. I also want to talk about the new way to queue into dungeons. So before it was just one queue. We now call that Holy Trinity queue, right? You have your 2 damage, your tank, and your support or your healer. Now they've introduced the system called Odd Comp. And what it is you can queue up into there and you don't have to have that Holy Trinity. So you might get in with all DPS and 1 healer or something along those lines, and they compensate for that by giving you buffs or different things that you need so that you can still be successful in that dungeon, because obviously Holy Trinity is superior. It's meant to be played that way, but Odd Comp adds this different route, and really it reduces queue times and allows people to just kind of play who they want. And it's funny, let's be real, if you get all like the same people in a dungeon, all the same hero or something like that, and you go and beat it, it's kind of fun. But you can queue either. You're not forced to queue one or the other. You get to pick. So maybe some days you'll want to queue just Holy Trinity. Maybe some days you want to queue Odd Comp. And there are differences between the two on the leaderboards and things like that, but this video is just about the thoughts of the season so far, so I'm not too worried about the leaderboard. But that is one of the coolest things about this season, is that odd comp. I've used it. I do both that and the Holy Trinity queue, and it really just comes down to what you're preferring and what you want to do. That brings me kind of to my next point, though, is how it feels to play Fellowship right now. Near the end of the last season, season 2, you know, the numbers weren't looking great if we just go number-wise, but it was really hard to jump into a season when it's near the end, and that's with any seasonal game. That's not just Fellowship, that's anywhere, right? If you're coming in at the end, a lot of people have already completed their goals and they've left. With Fellowship, though, and this being a new season, there is so many people online, so if you're wanting to jump into Fellowship, now is the ideal time to do it. And personally, I'm jumping back in. I took a little bit of a break, but I'm jumping back in and having so much fun. I love that the dungeons are bite-sized. If you think of other games in this similar genre, World of Warcraft, Guild Wars, different things like that, you know, the dungeons take a minute, you know, and it's, you know, you might not have the time to complete it, I guess is what I'm saying. But I love Fellowship because they're what I would consider bite-sized, right? All the dungeons have one boss unless you're doing the capstone dungeon, and I'll explain that all in a minute. But that capstone dungeon is the only one that doesn't, I think, and there's 3 bosses in it, so kind of like a normal type of feeling of a dungeon, 3+ bosses, whatever. But I love that I can queue up, and sometimes, especially early on, the dungeon can take less than 5 minutes, or less than 10 minutes, I should say. It's generally about 5. And you get gear, you're progressing your character. It's not a waste of time to do it and it be that quick. And I love that about this. The other thing that I'm liking so far is, I mentioned the leadership. I'm not going to dive leaderboards. Yeah, I'm not going to dive too much into it, but I really do like that you are gearing so quickly. They've kind of changed up gearing and how it's working, and so far I like it. I'm not well versed in the technical side of it, and I'm sure there's other videos out there that are way better at explaining it to you, but I'm going off of how it feels, and I really like it so far. I think it's been great. My characters felt powerful. I felt like it's not a waste to go into a dungeon. Getting things to upgrade, getting equipment that is better. So I really, really like it so far, and I think it's just been phenomenal. Now, I do want to touch base on the cosmetics. They are pretty fun. I think there are a lot in the shop, and that makes sense. This game is not subscription-based. It's nothing like that. You pay it once. You buy it once, right? And then you're getting all this content. And there are a lot of things, or cosmetics, that you can unlock without spending any money in the shop. But just pointing out that there is a shop, and there are some core cosmetics in there if you're about that. And I'm totally okay with a cosmetic shop, so I have nothing against that. Go support the game that way if that's what you want to do. But just letting you know that it's there. Feeling wise, you know, I'm indifferent to it. I think it's a great method because it's not pay to win at all, right? It's strictly cosmetics. Doesn't add anything to the gameplay outside of you looking pretty cool in the dungeons. But that's kind of my thoughts on Fellowship so far. I'm having a blast, and if you want to check it out, I think they're running a sale right now even, so go check it out on Steam, jump into Fellowship, and queue up some dungeons. It's really simple to learn, really easy to pick up, and there's a lot of different heroes so far where you can kind of pick what you want to play. And with the amount of players playing right now, you really do get the option of deciding who you want to rank up. I guess that's the last thing I'll say, that if you're curious about Fellowship, there's tons of videos out there on it. If you want me to make more Fellowship videos, let me know. But basically, it's a ranking system, right? You start in one league, and then you gear up in rank, and then you beat the capstone dungeon, and when you beat the capstone dungeon, you move up to the next rank, and so on and so forth. So it's pretty basic, it's pretty simple, but yet it's so much fun. And all the bosses so far that I've personally played, you can kind of jump in without knowing how they work, and Fellowship does a beautiful job of, you know, they have boss timers and visuals, and you can kind of understand, okay, I shouldn't stand in that. Maybe I should stand in this. Maybe I need to take this dot or whatever I have on me over to this corner. And you can usually piece it together and figure it out. And if not, there's a lot of nice people in the Fellowship community and in the Discord that are more than willing to help you out. So hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm really loving Fellowship, and I hope to see you guys in the game.